Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Traffic Jam by the look of it. So, right, as our Kleinbahn D120 Austrian State Railways 060 locomotive is quietly hauling a Lokalbahn round the layout, we're going to have a look at Brunel, the city, very thriving city of Brunel, which has a big traffic problem. So, as I've told you in previous videos, I have a vast collection of 187 model cars, which is actually grows every now and again. But it's been growing for about 30 years, so there's a vast selection. But generally I don't put so many cars on the layout. I just wanted to see how many I could pack in the city part. So I'm doing a helicopter view for you. Right. So why did I put all these cars? Mainly because I want to have an idea of how to draw, the road layout. Because I'll have to draw some lines, at least some very basic road markings on this layout. Also because it's useful for me to know what goes where. Now, I'm not going to mark parking places, I'm just going to make a very normal free parking. I'll mark those parking places over there. Definitely I'll do them. And I'm planning to mark out a bus stop here in front of the station for the service buses or buses that stop. Then this street lamp here, these are Lima street lamps. These will be connected. I'm going to wire them under the board and then bring the contacts out over here, and then I'll connect those to a controller, to an old Lima controller. These are very nice. They were new and I just took them out of their packets. I'll actually show you the packets in another video, dedicated video. So as you can see, there are already some street lights here. The ones I made, and they're actually working right now, the ones I made, the Christmas lights. But I am a bit street lamp mad, so why not get some extra street lamps? So the main idea is a roundabout there, another roundabout crossroads here, so I'll just mark that, and that way when I take the board out I just sit it on top. I'll actually make a round marker or something round it, and the cables, for the cables to come up as well, and it will be sort of camouflaged like some grass or something. I'll just paint it. And then this one here, this is not really a roundabout, will be sort of maybe like another mini roundabout here. Roundabout might not be a very good idea, but sort of in the middle of the road, because the other idea was to put the only single lamp I have here, but it was wasted, and I think these street lamps are wasted putting them in the railway area, because I have another couple of lamps I can use, but I can make something else, or maybe even get something else further on for the. I could even make it myself, make like a large spotlight tower, which could stand right there, and I could actually make that using a couple of car bulbs. That could be an idea, because I've got a whole box of them. That might be an idea. Okay, then, so these will be wired. Then there's the other thing is that this town is completely surrounded by rails, and there's no way I can fit a level crossing here, nor do I want to have a level crossing permanently on this board. It stands on this end. So I was thinking of two things. Either to make, the problem is that we don't have a thick baseboard here. We don't have polystyrene, we don't have absolutely anything. We just have this plywood, which is held by those runners at the side and buy another bit of wood in the middle. I don't know if you can see it right there. Okay, and because it's very lightweight. The other idea is to make a sort of flyover structure, because without having a proper baseboard with polystyrene, I can't make a sort of fake underpass that sticks out, maybe with the roads sinking down into it. It's very, very difficult. So what I'm thinking to do in this position here, make out of something very lightweight, can be polystyrene, cardboard or something of the kind, a flyover ramp that comes down gently like that and more or less arrives there, and that will sort of be the connection between what's outside the railway line and the central part of the town, the station area, no? Where all the action is. So that's one idea. I'll have to sort of have a look at the incline and sort of try and make it as realistic as possible, and I could have some extra vehicles on that when we're filming or when we're just playing trains. And so that might be the idea, and have it sort of coming over this way, so that they also make something interesting for the trains to pass underneath. Something very simple. Now, the other, I do have a couple of level crossings as well, but I'm keeping them for a small country layout that I intend to build. I'm planning to build a small country layout in future to run trams on and things, and even as a test, just as a simple test track. If I want to test some locomotives and things and some rolling stock, and not have to take this thing here out. This takes up quite a lot of space in this not very big room that I have, right? Another thing, I'm sort of rambling along. I never really work according to a plot. So generally, as I was saying, I'll not be putting so many cars on the layout. If you identify any of them, please say so in the comments. I've not put them all. There's quite an Eastern European flavour around here, if you can recognise some of the Eastern European stuff there. There are also some Western European cars too, but Eastern Europe seems to be very represented in this case. I'm going to show you the front of the station now. So the owner of this house, the person who lives here, has parked his Opel Kapitein. I've actually seen an Opel Kapitein at the classic car event in Croatia years ago. A lovely car, very nice. Okay, here we have the Sternquell beer delivery IFA W50 lorry. They're delivering beer to the bar and the cafe at the station. The same, even the Fiat Fiorino is delivering Motta ice cream. And here we have the Trabant of the postal service. They're also got some business at the station. And here we have Fiat 238, which is realistically missing one of its rear bumpers, because last time I was filming, somehow I collided with the board. The little bumper on the left came off and disappeared. So in another video we're going to rebuild that, because it's gone. But it's actually very realistic, because those rear bumper, quarter bumpers used to rust like hell and fall off. I know, because I've had a Fiat 238 camper van, and oh boy did they rust. Water soluble, like aspirin. Anyway, so let's go around and have a look at the station. Mentioning streetlights, I'm going to fit another couple of lamps here. So the container handling crane will be here. Of course, it would be better not to have it so close to the station, but this is the space, and this is a thing that I've had since the very beginning. I've always been in love with it. With a ramp here for the lorries or trucks, whatever word you prefer. And here I'm actually going to make a very simple industrial level crossing, covering the rails with some grey paper, and that will be for the lorries that are accessing the goods handling yard. And I'll put a large reflector street light here, an old one by Juef there, and I think I have another single street light that could go over there somewhere, and so there will be more lighting. The annoying thing is that to be able to do this lighting job, I'll have to do it with a board up. So what this shot here, we're going to be having quite a lot of filming and things. I'll just leave the lights as they are. They're only for decorative purposes. I won't have so many cars because I'm going to start painting the lines and things, so a lot of the cars will get put away. It was just for this, just to, you know, make this layout a bit more crowded, fill it in, give it some colour, you know. And then I'll do that at the end because I'll have to lift everything up and drill holes and wire things and things, so we'll do that when I eventually dismantle everything. But they all work. I'll dedicate a video to those lamps. Here's the station. You were asking me more details about the station. There it is. It's really nice. Brunel. And this is the other side of the cafe. Over here. This locomotive has become, since I did the last maintenance job, has become a really super smooth runner. That's all I needed to get rid of what was left of the old grease and pack in some new. Just put in a tiny spot, technical petroleum jelly, and it's really a good runner. We're talking in the last video, I think we were mentioning, yes, these Kleinbahn carriages in shunting are quite light, and the locomotive can sometimes override the coupler, and that's why there's buffer lock. But apart from that, it's okay. But mentioning buffers, stop the clock. We mentioned buffers. And as the train was running round, I noticed that a buffer is missing. How did that? What's happened? Oops. Let's see. What's been going on? A buffer is missing off the locomotive. I just noticed that now. And I just looked, and there's a buffer. So that just came unglued. Because at one point there was a bit of a muddle over here before when I was testing things, and the buffer came off, it came unglued, so we'll have to repair that. Good job I noticed, mentioning buffers. So I was talking about these carriages here. Yes, they are quite light. I've not weighed them. The two green ones are a little bit heavier because the wheels have got metal rims. The two brown ones are much lighter because their wheels are all plastic. And sometimes, you see, you come back and it might do this effect here, watch. Now it did it, now there were no problems, but sometimes, maybe depending on a regular track and things like that, this can happen. That it lifts it up and does that, you see, because these are really very light, but the brown ones in particular are very light. I could, if I wanted, add a weight or something underneath. I could add a hidden tire weight. In particular, not so much under the green ones, because the green ones, I'm not pointing the right way. Maybe under the brown ones I could improve that with a tire weight. But on the whole, all you need to do, sometimes it might derail on points if they're being propelled and such like things. So anyway, let's have a look at this buffer now that I discovered. Oh, easy, no problem. It just came unglued. So I'll just put a spot of glue and glaze on there and pop it back in. It's plastic. I could even put, probably Tamiya cement would do the job, but it's a painted surface and I don't want it to damage the paint, so we'll just use some glue and glaze. I'll do that after tonight, off camera. And easy. We'll fix that. It'll be back on nice and solid by tomorrow. Okay. Good job. We were talking about buffers and buffer lock, and I noticed that this locomotive had shed a buffer. Oops. So we're going to pull it. We're going to continue our trip cab forward. Look how smooth it's going, really nice. Sometimes when it's cab forward there's a slight dip in the rails there, and when it's going cab forward it tends to lose the train. And I think we've had buffer lock here, huh? Yes, indeed. Generally buffer lock happens when we're going, because it's the hook, the coupling hook at the front of the locomotive tends to run underneath the carriage. It might even just be needing tighten, because these have a slight lateral movement. They have a slight lateral movement, and okay, yes, they have a slight lateral movement. There's some screws underneath. I'm going back to my chair. Excuse me. We'll talk about this. Then it's so there is a slight. And now I need another set of hands to be able to continue. So there is a slight lateral movement of the hook. So it might even just be needing tightening. Or you can see that here at the front it tends to sag a bit. Here it's a bit taller. I've never really tightened that, so this might be a problem when hauling the train cab forwards and not boiler forwards. Okay, let me know what you think about the very busy traffic jam layout. We're going to anyway go through a lot of videos. We'll also talk about cars and things, all the various models related with the model railway layout, and that's it. Let me know what you say, your opinions. If you like the video, give it a like, click subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, share, comment, etc, etc, etc. Cheerio, and see you next time. And I think I'm going to pop some glue on this straight away. Ciao, ciao. Big traffic jam here. Wait a minute, I wanted to show you the front. Apart from the fact you've seen it, the front of these buildings half timber are so nice. And another thing I'm going to do, I want to wire up the signal box to have light in there at long last. Eventually I'm going to do it, and I'll probably wire it up with this system here, the circuit for the street lights. Okay, cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao. Who are we going to spy on? The Zeta bubble car. Ciao, ciao.